There's very few players in college lacrosse that make me more excited than Eric Spanos. The 6'3", 210-pound Maryland attackman has all the tools to become an elite college lacrosse player. And today, I want to convince you why you must pay attention to him. Eric's lacrosse journey has been an interesting one. He made history as the youngest ever lacrosse recruit after he committed to Maryland in 8th grade. Early in high school, he tore his ACL and missed most of his sophomore season. Then lost his junior season to COVID, but then he came back with vengeance and led the lacrosse powerhouse Malvern Prep to a conference championship. He also dropped a casual 64 goals and 30 assists, and was in my opinion the best high school lacrosse player in the country in 2021. After a redshirt freshman season for the Terps, he's poised to have a breakout sophomore campaign with plenty of Maryland starters graduating and Maryland star attackman Eric Molliver getting hurt. Eric started in the Team USA versus Maryland scrimmage and scored 2 goals, including a righty wing shot over Garrett Epple, one of the best defenders in the entire world. So today, I want to break down what makes Eric Spanos such a good player and project how things might just play out in his lacrosse career. I'm Jake with Lax Weekly, and let's get into this video. The first eye-popping thing about Spanos' game is his physicality. At 6'3" and 210 pounds, he's simply bigger and stronger than 95% of the defenders that he's matching up against. Lacrosse can be complicated or it can be simple. The bigger, more athletic guy wins his matchups more often. Just look at players like Matt Rambo, Dylan Malloy, or Zed Williams. Their games aren't flashy, but they're some of the most offensively productive players in lacrosse because they use their body to flat out score. But just because you're big doesn't automatically make you a good lacrosse player. Spanos uses his leverage to make defenders overcommit one way while he goes the other way. College lacrosse is a big and physical game, and Spanos has all the physical tools to hang with the best of them. The next thing I love about Spanos' game is his outside shooting ability. The man has an absolute cannon of an outside shot, and he can truly grip it and rip it like few players can. But more specifically, there's a few things I really like about his shot. Number one is the sheer power. When he shoots, he gets his hands back as far away as possible and uses his entire body to uncork his shot. Too many players get away with using their arms for a shot, but Spanos uses his core and legs to generate a crazy amount of speed. Number two is shot selection. Sometimes he just lets it fly, but most of the time, Eric puts the ball in great spots, making it very difficult for the goalie to save the ball. The best shooters in lacrosse don't necessarily shoot for a specific corner, they just pick a spot on the cage and let the ball fly. Another thing he does a great job of is shooting through pressure. When defenders approach him, he's not afraid to quite literally shoot over their body. This usually means he's going to take a hit or drive his hand straight into a 6-foot metal pole, but he usually finds the back of the net. Also, I'm doing player evaluations where you can send in your own footage and what you want to work on, and I'll send you a personalized video with drills and a practice plan, so now you know exactly what it takes to get better. We've already had over 100 players sign up. Just text me to get started with the phone number on the screen, or I'll leave a link in the description where you can go get more info. Let's move on to the next thing I love about his game, his lacrosse IQ. This is an overused term, so what exactly do I mean here? Well, when you break it down, lacrosse is really a game of decisions. Do I dodge at the right time here? Should I shoot this or take one more step? Is the slide coming to me and should I pass it? Or should I throw a fake and free my hands to shoot? As I mentioned earlier, Eric tore his ACL and then missed his COVID season. So I know that he had tons and tons of time to watch lacrosse on the sideline and on tape. When you watch a lot of lacrosse, you're training your brain to have a high lacrosse IQ since you're watching so many decisions get made. If you want to play more like him, I challenge you to watch 15 minutes of film every morning. It could be college highlights, your own game film, or any other lacrosse. Then spend 5 minutes taking notes after on what you saw. If you did that every day for a year, you'd spend more than 5 days total watching film, and all it took was 20 minutes a day, and I can almost guarantee you'll be a different lacrosse player. And this leads me to my next point. I absolutely love Eric's slickness. This means he's able to get a shot off that most players wouldn't be able to make. Other methods of deception to get around his defender and score. Just when you think he's fading away from the goal and doesn't have enough angle, he'll cut back towards the middle and score anyways. Or if he's running out of angle, he'll duck his head low and shoot high to move the goalie around. I really think this ability is what separates him from the pack. There's thousands of attackmen out there who have a solid outside shot, a good dodge or two, and good vision. But when you're able to get a shot off when the defender least expects it, that's when you become an elite player. I was curious what Eric's stick setup was, so I messaged him and he sent me a picture. He uses the Maverick Tactic 2 head with a Maverick Union shaft and a mid pocket with 2 shooters across the top. If you click the link in the description to buy these, it'll give me a little extra commission at no extra cost to you, and it really supports this channel. The next reason I love this guy's game is his clutch G. He had one of the more epic game-winning goals I've ever seen captured on video, and he made sure to savor the moment by taking off his helmet and sprinting down the field. But this wasn't a one-time thing. The man has had a target on his back since he committed in 8th grade. Ever since his commitment, he's been that guy that everyone wants to shut down. Who wouldn't like saying that they took the ball away from a Maryland commit when you're in 8th grade? So every time he stepped onto the field, he had to give his best performance, and he did. He also missed basically 3 years of lacrosse and came back his senior year to score nearly 100 points. That is downright ridiculous. And you can clearly tell the guy wants the ball in his stick in the big moments. Now he's facing even more pressure, competing for a starting spot at Maryland each and every week. But if there's a guy who can handle pressure well, it's Eric Spanos. And this leads me to my next point. Eric had more high-level lacrosse experience than 99% of players. Whether it was playing in Lake Placid alongside the same attack line as Tahoka Nanticoke, or playing on Malvern Prep with dozens of D1 commits, Eric has had access and experience against some of the country's best players. Simply put, he has a proven track record of playing at the highest level, and that's going to pay dividends in college. The next thing I love about Spanos' game is his face dodge. Simply put, I don't think I've ever seen a high school player with a better face dodge than his. But let's get specific. The first key element in his face dodge is his timing. There's so many clips in his highlights where instead of shooting it, he face dodges to get a few steps closer to the goal and then he shoots. The face dodge is almost all about timing. And I see a lot of players try to do the face dodge at the wrong time. Well, most of the time you only really want to face dodge when a defender is approaching you, not when you're approaching a defender. And this usually happens off ball. You catch the ball, a defender is taking a bad approach on you, and you face dodge to get underneath and get a better angle for the goal. The second element is his stick protection. When he face dodges and goes around his defender, he keeps his stick tight and protected to his body, so there's no way that his defender can trail check him. I see a lot of players hang their stick back, leading to easy turnovers. Make sure you keep your stick protected when you do the face dodge. And lastly is his finish. Eric Spanos doesn't need a big wind up when he gets his stick back to shoot. He does quick little finishes where he ducks his head and uses his wrists to generate most of the power. Now that I've convinced you that Eric Spanos is a must watch in college lacrosse this year, let's also talk about a few things that I think he can do if he wants to become even better. The first thing I'll notice is his first step. Don't get me wrong, Eric is quicker than most. He's an attackman at Maryland for gosh sakes. But something I'm sure he's been working on more is his quickness. Right now I think he uses his 6'3" frame super well, but his first step isn't as elite as his physicality. I think if he can combine his size with some insane footwork like a guy like Michael Sowers, Spanos could legitimately be unstoppable. He wears a knee brace and he tore his ACL in high school, so I'm sure that contributes to part of this. But I do think Eric can develop an even quicker first step. The next thing he can continue to work on is his vision. The man had 34 assists during his senior year, so he clearly has plenty of vision to go around. But I do think he's going to need to wheel and deal even more in college. Spanos' game is tailor-made to draw slides, and I think that's going to put a lot of pressure on his hands. In his high school highlights, you can see a few plays where he bullies his way through defenders. Although I hope he does that plenty in college, I think he will be extra dangerous if he's able to get off passes in tight, especially if he can get off passes with a variety of release points. I also think he can continue to work on his left hand. It's very clear that Spanos favors his right, and I'm all for that. You see, Canadians especially favor one hand, and I'm a big believer in playing to your strengths. But developing a left-handed shooting capability just gives him more opportunities for playing time. And with a big lefty in Logan Wisnauskas graduating, someone who's able to fill that role would be huge. I think Eric has the mental game, the talent, and all the lacrosse skill in the world to thrive in college. And his build is built for the professional game. Now the question is, can he stay healthy? Can he continue to get better and play into an offense? And can he take his tools and go to work on a college lacrosse field? What do you think about Eric Spanos? I want to hear all of your takes. And what video should I make next? I'm Jake with Lax Weekly. I hope you had a great day, and I'll see you next time.